What's up, guys? So let's talk about the big thing on everybody's mind. Chocolate. I'm gonna go get some chocolate cookies. Now that that's out of the way, multiplayer. Do I have to play with people? Cause I'm an anti-socialite. Anthem is an always online game. You cannot play it offline. It is multiplayer to the core, but it does have an aspect of single player. I didn't know who these characters were. Haddock. I keep calling him a fish, but you know. I was like, do they go out in the field with you? Are they your party members? But then how do they, what? Now I understand. I have seen the light. Fort Tarsis is your personal hub. It is not a social hub. It's not like in Destiny when you go to that hub area and then everybody's just dancing around and they're dropping that beat and everybody's just like, what? Fort Tarsis is your narrative location. Fort Tarsis is the single player. This is where you talk to people. This is where you get the cutscenes. This is where you change gear. This is where you level up. This is where you can change your javelin. You can talk to inhabitants, get side quests, get other quests, push forward the critical path. Talk to the crew, kind of like the other games as well, in Skyhold or in the Normandy or some kind of camp. So your choices affect Fort Tarsis. It won't affect the world because the world is affected by what Bioware starts to implement in updates and stuff like that. So every time you go out in the field and you do a mission, you come back and each player sees the story afterwards. There are no group decisions, there are only solo decisions when you are encountering your story in Fort Tarsis. The NPC quest givers in Fort Tarsis are called agents. The party system is 4 players or less. You can go out in the field and play by yourself if you would like, but it's pretty difficult. I mean, you could see some of the size of some of those enemies is just like, there are areas in the world that are high level, so there are areas that you need to avoid when you're lower level. You will never be given a mission that you have to do solo. If you decide to do it solo, that's up to you. It's not, they'll never tell you, well, you need to do this on your own. The experience is built for teamwork. Something that John Warner is saying, and a lot of the other team, but I was reading that John Warner was saying that what they really wanted to do was take what people love about Bioware games, which is a lot of times the character development and the relationships between you and the characters, your followers, take that and put the followers into people's hands so that it's more, they were saying that they're kind of like giving us the best of both worlds or something. It's like these people now you can control. You can still have banter, but now it's actual reactions from people right on the spot and reacting with you, and instead of talking about it later on, you know, telling everybody what you encountered on social media or whatever, you are talking to people right then and there. For now, I'm just telling you the information, and later I will talk about my thoughts in a different video. There are different things you could do with the multiplayer. One of them is called free play. Free play sounds a lot like a waiting area, waiting room. If your friend is taking their time in Fort Tarsis and they're leveling up and you really want to play with them and you're like, oh, I'll wait for you, you know, instead of joining another group. You could go in there just for exploration's sake. You don't have a specific objective. The game will generate some encounters if you are interested in doing something, but you can just go out and forage or get crafting materials. There's no loading between zones. You could take out pockets of enemies, and you could still earn rewards and loot during free play. Another aspect to multiplayer aside from free play is or are the strongholds. Some games call them dungeons, raids, or you know, these are your big boss battles. This is, you need a team to take on a stronghold, which I like the sound of because I like coordinating during battles and combat, especially if you have people that are willing to do that and not just Leroy Jenkins. They do want to encourage people, players, to, when they're done with the game, to, you know, once they're a bit more powerful, to go on and take on bigger strongholds. But they also don't want to alienate players that aren't hardcore. You don't have to be this high level character to be able to participate or to be able to bring something to the group. You will always be able to contribute. Just the higher levels will have specific advantages just because of maybe gear that they have, different abilities that they've leveled up and stuff like that. They're also trying to make pair up seamless. It sounds a lot like Monster Hunter World. You can do private pairings. They want to pair you up without any struggle, and the missions are straightforward. So straightforward that they said that you don't need party chat. I think it would help for combos, because if you guys aren't on the up and up, if you guys aren't on the same level, combos are going to be kind of difficult if people aren't paying attention. You can do combos without party chat, but they need to be paying attention. They're mixing like a looking for group system and the world map of an RPG. You look at the map and you see different things going on. You're like, oh, I need to do that, or that sounds like something I could do, or I want to do that. That looks interesting. You just jump in. You can invite specific people, or you could rely on the notifications system of the game. After the missions, you go back to Tarsus, and the group just the group disbands, but you can lock that group if you want. There's also a color-coded progression. There are 4 different levels of gear: green, blue, purple, and orange. They're gonna be updating the game frequently. I'm not sure if the updates are going to be just like little raids like they did with, say, Mass Effect 3. See how many things you could kill during the weekend, you know, like, and if you do this much, you get this. See, that kind of thing is just like, but if it's content that has story behind it, and the story is just evolving with the game, that sounds intriguing, that sounds fun. Like, that's the type of multiplayer Bioware should really focus on. If they're already delving into this, they should be like, yeah, we're doing a multiplayer, but we're doing it our style. Star Wars: The Old Republic has a lot of story-based content, and I think that's why people keep playing that game. The cool thing about Star Wars: The Old Republic is that you never needed to team up with anybody. You could experience that game as a single player if you wanted to. And every now and then you'd encounter somebody doing the stupid dance, you know, and it was like, that's a real person for show. That was the beauty of Star Wars: The Old Republic. But Anthem, I understand why they need to really push teaming up, because that's what the game is. That's what it is. It's made for that. The game is 30 FPS, but for PC, 30 FPS is not locked. When it comes to 4K, Mark Dara says that they're looking into it. There's no trading, there's no loot trading with anybody, which I was like, oh. In the beginning, the tutorials are about 20 minutes. Mark Dara says if you know what you're doing, they're about 20 minutes long. And then after that, you can already start co-op. There's no local co-op. There's no PvP. Cross-platform play is to be determined. And thankfully, people can't steal anybody's loot. So that's pretty much it when it comes to multiplayer, how it's going to work, what they have in mind for multiplayer, what the incentives are, and how does the single player come into play. Your you moments. It's like,
girl, I need a moment. Like, you need to go, like, right now.
Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the single player being at Fort Tarsus, that's your narrative zone. It's kind of trying to be a Bioware game, but it's like letting people in, like a party, you know, like we kind of just want to be alone, but it's like thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.